Hi there, I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. This is my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. What is jQuery? jQuery is just a pretty version of JavaScript. What is JavaScript? JavaScript is a scripting language that runs on your browser, and also it runs locally on your computer. So unlike PHP, which runs on a server, JavaScript runs locally, particularly on your browser, on Google Chrome, Opera Mini, and something like Mozilla Firefox. So JavaScript is a program that runs locally. What it does, it's responsible for interacting with HTML and also making HTML dynamically, and also if you want to make and add some behavior to an HTML, you use JavaScript. Then how does jQuery features in the whole process? Then obviously JavaScript, it's not necessarily complicated, but it's a bit a technical scripting language, so meaning that it has got some a certain long form of doing things, and then jQuery comes into picture and make JavaScript a little bit prettier for people like us who don't know much about JavaScript. Then at least so that we can be able to get started with JavaScript using jQuery. In the industry term, it's called jQuery. It's a syntactic sugar, meaning that it just makes JavaScript taste better. It makes it taste sweeter. But in a more serious manner, it just means that jQuery, it's more like a lighter version of JavaScript. How light it is, for instance, let's say if you are required to write a function in JavaScript where you have to say function, function name, open curly braces and whatever, in jQuery you're just gonna put a $sign to represent that whole code that you were supposed to write. So jQuery, it's simpler, I think it's light, it's just only this file. It's only this file and that's it. It's simpler, it's light, it's easy to use, and also it's beginner friendly. So I'm Matthew Msengati. I'm starting some sort of a series of random videos. It's not a course of random videos around jQuery, starting from scratch for beginners. So if you are a beginner, you want to start jQuery, please do me a favor and subscribe so that you can be notified. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msengati, that is it. Thank you for watching. I'm just gonna show you how to link a jQuery file. We must first open and close a script, the script tag. So that is it. This is a script tag, and then from then we must set one of the attributes of the script tag attributes, and then as you can see in this folder jQuery, we have jQuery as a folder, and this is the jQuery that we want. Ignore this jQuery UI, we will use it later. So inside this folder we have the jQuery. This is the file that we want to link to our HTML. So what we're gonna do, we are going to set the src proper attribute of the script tag into jQuery. As you can see, this is the folder jQuery. Inside this folder there is jQuery 3.5.1.minified version, and that is it. This is how you link jQuery. In the next video I'm going to show you how to use jQuery in detail for beginners. So for me, Matthew Msengati, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. In the previous video I showed you how to link a jQuery script, and this is how you do that. Now we need to write our first jQuery code. So how are we going to do that? When you are embedding a script inside your HTML document, it is a good programming practice to put it right before you close your HTML tag. The reason is, if you put it here on top, maybe your jQuery code or your JavaScript code might want to access elements which have not been loaded yet by the DOM. So the good programming practice is to put it right here at the bottom. So as you can see that we are not going to create an external jQuery file. We are going to embed the jQuery code inside the HTML document. So let's quickly do that. Let's just write an opening and a closing script tag. Opening and closing script tag. So inside this script tag, this is where we can start to write our jQuery. Okay, let me first quickly type this code and then I will explain it later. Okay, this piece of code, this piece of jQuery code is just responsible for making sure that you start executing any jQuery code when the document is done loading, or when the document is ready rather than loading, because there is another method which is .load. So this one makes sure that this script that we are going to write inside here is going to be executed when the document is ready, when the DOM is ready. Okay, so this is the syntax on how to do it. And also, if you look at this syntax, most of the jQuery functions are more or less like this. So you are going to see a lot of this piece of code as we are coding along. So as promised, let's just write our first jQuery function or JavaScript function. jQuery and JavaScript, they are more or less like the same thing because jQuery is built on top of JavaScript. So continuing with this series, I'm just gonna say JavaScript. So let's just write our first JavaScript function. So when you're writing a JavaScript function, you just say function and we say test, and then you open and close bracket, you open and close curly braces. And what we want to do inside this function, we want to display a dialog box with the message test. Okay, if we can go ahead and run this, nothing will happen because we didn't call this function. So let's quickly call this function. Then we are done. Let's go and test. And that is it. Test. Okay, that is it for me. I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. In this video, I'm going to show you jQuery variables. How do you declare a variable in jQuery? When you want to declare a variable in jQuery, you must always start with a $sign, and then our jQuery variable is going to be name. And then what we want to do, we want to assign a string Matthew. We want to assign a string Matthew to this variable. So the best thing we can do now to test if our variable is working, we can just alert this name. We can just display this name instead of displaying text. Let's run this and see. As you can see, Matthew is being displayed. Let's just check if maybe we want to display John. Okay, that is it. What if maybe we might want to, instead of displaying a name, we want to display a number? The procedure is the same. You shall say number equal to and assign the number. And then from there, let's comment this one so that we can display this number. Voila, 45. One last thing before we end the video. Let's just try to display both a string and a number at the same time so that we can also learn how to concatenate in jQuery. So we are going to say my age is equal to, suppose it says my age is equal to 45. Concatenation in jQuery is done by a plus sign, so don't be confused. This plus sign doesn't mean a mathematical expression or an addition. You are not adding, you are just concatenating. Concatenation in programming is more like attaching things together rather than making evaluating. This is not an expression to be evaluated mathematically. This is just concatenation. Let's just quickly test it and see. Voila, my age is 45. I am not 45. My age is not 45. Okay, then that is it for me. I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. If you feel like this video has added a value in your overall understanding of jQuery, please subscribe. See you on the next one. In this video, we are going to deal with the conditionals, the if-else statement. At least now we are getting the tune or the vibe of jQuery. Now we are ready to make some condition. Let's say we've got this number 45 and we want to display different messages according to the number that has been assigned. How do you write an if-else statement? You start with an if, you open and close the bracket, you open and close curly braces, and that is it. Inside this bracket you must write the condition or what you are asking. For instance, we want to ask, is this number equal to 45? If this number is equal to 45, what can we do? Let's just say this for now. Let's alert. Let's just make it simple and alert equals to 45. Okay, let's just comment this code for now so that it cannot be executed. So if this number is equal to 45, then we're going to alert equal to 45. Let's just write another if this number is not equal to 45, then we say not, we type here not equal to 45. Let's run it and see. Is this number equal to 45? I'm not sure. I'm not good in mathematics. Let's run the code and see. The computer is clever enough to tell us equals to 45. So what if we can change this number so that it cannot be equal to 45? Not equal to 45. So as you can see that this is how you write an if statement. And then let's just push it further. Let's just delete this second if and only copy that message, and then we have if this number is equal to 45, and then do this. Then we can make this shorter and combine both those, the first if and the second if, by using a else. So now it means that if this number is equal to 45, this is what is going to be displayed. Else, if it's something else, whatever condition it may be, then display this. Let's quickly run that and see. Not equal to 45, that means it's else. What if maybe it could be 45? Let's run it and see. Click OK, run and see. Equal to 45. That is it for this video. I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. If you feel like this video has added value to your overall understanding of jQuery, please subscribe. In this video, we are going to talk about rational operators. Okay, in the previous video we have seen that we were making some conditions, but however there is a lot that we can do with these conditions. It's not only we can test something if it's equal to, we can test more than that. So the first rational operator is the one that we have already used here, checking if something is equal to. However, we can also test if this number is greater than 45, and then if it's greater than 45, let's just be general here and write true, and also let's just be general here and write false. So this condition will test, is this number greater than 45? Is that true or false? Let's just test if that is true or false. So it's false. It means that this number 45 is not greater than 45. The other rational operator that we have, it's less than. We can test, is this number less than 45? Let's just quickly run and see. The program is saying that is false. Let's make it less than 45 and see. True, because 6 is less than 45. Then another rational operator is less or equal to. So it's more like it's checking for two things. Let's first test less and see what it does. Which is, it's true because it's less or equal to. What if it could be 45? Let's quickly check and see. It's true because it's less or 45. So as you can see that the program is testing, is this number, which is also this, is it less or equal to 45? As you can see that it's less or equal to 45. And then let's just also tackle a topic or something that it's a little bit tricky, and what that is the difference between the double sign and the triple sign, or we can do that one in the next video. I don't want you to confuse you a little bit. Let's just leave it like this. The best thing I can explain now in this video for beginners is the assigning operator and this operator, the one that evaluates. So this single equal sign is different from this double equal sign in such a way that this double equal sign is evaluating to check if is this one equal to this one, but this one is not evaluating, it's assigning. It's taking this information and putting it, it's taking this number and putting it inside this container. That is it for some rational operators, because I want to keep this series short and simple, and it must be for beginners. Some other things you will learn as we are coding. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msingati, thanks for watching. Video, we are going to continue with our function. We are going to just add parameters and arguments. So how do you pass parameters? Let's just uncomment this function here. So before we were just calling this function, and what it was doing for us, it was just displaying a number. So let's just quickly test that again and just write function called. So that means this function has been called. So if we run this code, we get a notification, or we get a dialog box saying that function has been called. Then what if when we are calling this function we want to write something so that this alert can write whatever that we want to write? And this means that we want to have some sort of a power to be in control of always changing whatever that we want to display here. So let's just start from here. Let's have a variable called message is equal to I am great. And then what we want to do, this is the message that we want to display here, but we don't want to put it here so that it can be static. We want it to be dynamic so that we can always change it when we want to. So how do we do that? So when you are calling a function, there is an option of passing the parameter, which is when we're calling this function, we are going to pass the message. And then we can receive this message. We can receive this message as an argument, and then from then we will display it here. So what we are doing now, when we are calling the function, we are passing an argument, which is the message "I am great," and then from then here, when the function is being executed, the function will receive that argument, that parameter as an argument, and then we will display it. Let's just quickly check that. As you can see, "I am great" has been displayed. What if then maybe we've decided that we are not great anymore? Then we can just say "I am not great." This is not possible. I'm always great. Let's just say now "I am happy." Then let's just run it and see. You see, "I am happy." So what we have just did, we have used function and we have passed a parameter, and in this function, when we are executing the function receives the argument and it displays it. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msingati, thanks for watching. See you on the next video. In this video, we are going to talk about jQuery selectors. Now we are leveling up. Up to this far, we have been just familiarizing ourselves with jQuery. Now we are starting to get into some sort of an intermediate stuff. And what is that? It's DOM manipulation. So jQuery has got a power to manipulate and change HTML elements. Hence now we are starting with jQuery selectors. So if we are going to manipulate HTML element, we might as well put one HTML element and try to manipulate it. Okay, let's say here we've got a div, and then in this div we put an attribute ID equal to selectable. So this just means that we are going to use this ID. We are just going to use this ID selectable to select, or let's just be more realistic and say label. Okay, name label. So this div is acting like it's labeling an input, and also we are going to put that input there. So let's say name, and then let's just put an input. Okay, let's just put an input there. Okay, type of that input is going to be text. Okay, let's see when we run this, what are we going to see? As you can see, we've got a label and we've got an input. We want to target the label. That's why we have given this label an ID attribute. We want to select it using this ID. Okay, this is wrong. So the ID is name label. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to first of all select this tag, this div tag, using this ID, and we want to hide it. Let's say, let's quickly do that. First of all, let's refresh to see if it's there. As you can see, it's there, but now we want to hide it. So jQuery selectors, if this is an ID, then this is how we select that element using the ID name label. So this piece of code selects an HTML tag with an ID. How does it know if it's a tag with an ID? It uses this hashtag sign, this one. So then it knows that it's going to look for this ID. So what do you want to do with this ID? Let's say dot hide. that means we are hiding it. So let's quickly check. As you can see, now it's hidden. If we comment this, so that means we can get it. Then also there is another HTML tag, which here we were using an ID to target this div. We can also use a class to target this div. Let's say name label class. That means we can use a class attribute to target this div. So what will be the change in here? The change will be, instead of the hashtag, then we are going to use the dot telling jQuery that we want to select a class and then hide it. So let's just do something different, just so that we can really see that we are using a class. Let's take a class and put it on this input, on the input instead of the label. So as you can see that we are going to take any HTML element that has got a class, the class name is label class, and then we are going to hide it. Let's see which one is going to disappear. As you can see that the input has disappeared. So now I have shown you how to use the target some element using an ID and a class. What if I want to target the element itself or the tag itself? You can target this tag body, and let's just change the color. You can target this tag body by doing what? By just typing as it is. So if you are targeting the actual tag, then you can target, let me just zoom in. Okay, so if you are targeting the tag itself, you can use this tag, and then let's just change the color. This is another feature of jQuery. With jQuery, you can manipulate some sort of the CSS styles of the HTML elements. So that's what we are going to do here. So we are going to say background color, and then make it red. So we are selecting the whole body of our HTML, and then we are changing the background color to red. Let's save it and see. So as you can see, we have changed the whole background color to red. So that means we are targeting the actual tag. So if this input is a tag, that means also we can target it using the tag approach and change the background color to red. Let's see. As you can see, the background color is red. So what if we want to tag this div? Also you can do that as well. So for now, since this is a beginner's course, I'm not gonna do a lot of jQuery tags, because I'm just giving you an idea and an understanding of how jQuery works. Obviously in a different course, I'm going to get into details and do all the tags. Here I'm trying to be as short as possible and straight to the point, so that you can see or familiarize yourself with jQuery, so that maybe you can fall in love with it. And then we're going to do a course that is going to get into deep dive into jQuery. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msengati, I hope you're learning. Thank you for subscribing, because I know you have clicked the subscribe button. Otherwise, for me, thank you so much. See you in the next video. In this video, we are going to take a look at a click event. What is a click event? A click event is when you go to the website and click on a button and something will happen. This means that the script has been listening for that click event. So as soon as you click there, then it is being triggered and it will do something. So this is what we are going to do now. Let me warn you, the first approach that we are going to use, I'm just showing you for your own knowledge. I myself, I don't really use it because it sometimes fails. If I can be honest with you, I really don't know why. Maybe it's something that I must make a research about. It works, but not always. Sometimes it fails on jQuery. So it will mean that I'm going to do another video that I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. The click event listener that will never fail. So when you click the button, it's not going to fail. It will always work. That will mean that please consider subscribing so that you can be notified when I'm uploading that video. At least the YouTube system can send you a notification that I've uploaded a new video. Without further ado, let's get started. So what we want to do, let's put a button here. Let's just delete this. Let's just delete this and just say let's open a button tag. Let's just make a normal div tag. It's fine. Let's just make a normal div tag and right here click me. Okay, we are going to give this tag an ID of click, and let me not use click because click means something to what we are doing. It's a click event. So button change color. So what we are trying to do, we are creating a div element that when we click on it, what we were doing here on the previous video, changing the background color of the body, let's say the background color of the body to red. Now that is going to happen when we have clicked the button. So let's just quickly comment this. Let's just quickly comment this and run this code. In this code, or in our HTML, there is just a div with an ID change color, and they click me as a text in it, and that's it. Let's just quickly see what happens. As you can see, this is just click me, nothing much. When you click on it, nothing happens. So now let's add an event listener on this div using this ID. So we can do that by taking this is just those IntelliSense thing. So we are selecting this ID, which is change color, and we want to say dot click function. Okay, dot click function, and then we close. Okay, I have said on the first video that we were doing on our first jQuery script, I highlighted this part and I said this function, this part, you are going to see it most oftenly when you are coding JavaScript or even jQuery, because we will be writing anonymous functions time and again. So that's the first use of that function. So let me just explain what's going on here. We have an HTML element or an HTML tag that has got an ID change color. So using jQuery, we are selecting that element. We are assigning a click event listener so that when we click on it, then this function is called, and this is an anonymous function, as you can see. So let's do something. Okay, let's take this instruction, this piece of code, and change the background color when this is clicked. Let's see. Let's click it. As you can see, the background color changes. So that is it for an event listener. As you can see, that what we have done, we have just selected this using an ID, the div or the HTML element, and then we've assigned the click event, and then from then when this element is clicked, and then this function will be called, and that what function is doing, it's changing the background color of the HTML element, the body color of the HTML element. So as I have said before, this is the first way of doing it. I don't advise you continuing with this one because it works, but sometimes it doesn't work. I have tried it and it has confused me when I was starting with jQuery because I relied on it, but in most programs that I was writing, it was not consistent. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Maybe when you've got more than one button or more than one event on HTML element that you're going to click on, it misbehaves. So in the following video, I'm going to show you the proper way of doing it. So please subscribe. Otherwise, for me, Matthew Msengati, thank you so much for watching. In the previous video, we have done a click event. So when you were clicking on this HTML element, it was changing the color to red. Let's just quickly check that. Then it changes the color to red. As I have advised on that previous video, that this way, this approach of adding a click method, it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't work. I myself even don't know why is that happening. So there is a better way of adding an event listener or a click method into an HTML element or in a tag, which will always work. And in this video, we are going to do that. So how it happens is, this is how we are going to do it. Okay, let's start from scratch. So what we want to do, or let me just talk about the theoretical aspect of it so that you can get an understanding and have a green light of what's going on. We have assigned or attached an event listener to this HTML tag, to this div, to this click me. So when you click it, the background becomes red. Okay, that's work fine. Awesome. Now what we want to do, we want to delegate that responsibility of listening to an event not to this particular HTML tag, this click me text. We want to delegate that responsibility to the overall body of the HTML. So meaning that it's like we are widening the scope now. We are not specific, so we are targeting the overall container because all the HTML tags will be inside what? Will be inside the body. So that means the body will be ready for listening to the events. What if then you are clicking inside the body, which means you are targeting an element inside the body? There is a process, I think, in jQuery called bubbling up. Let me just quickly search for it so that I can explain it according to the internet. I think it's called, let me say, jQuery event bubbling. Let's say event example, no, bubbling. Yeah, let's see what it says so that I can explain. Okay, but okay, let me just write it this way. What is okay, let's say event bubbling in JavaScript. Okay, what is event bubbling? Event bubbling, it's a concept in the DOM, document object model. It happens when an element receives an event and that event bubbles up, or you can say is transmitted or propagated to its parent and ancestor elements in the DOM. in the DOM tree until it gets to a point, until it gets to the root element. I think this is a very beautiful explanation. I was not going to explain it like this. I saw some pictures with arrows. I hope I can see them here, but if I don't see them, I don't really mind, because the way this has been explained, it's perfect. So let's go back to our example. So when you click in an HTML element that is inside the body, no matter how down it is, how further down it is into the tree or the tree structure of the HTML element, that event will bubble up. So it means that if the element that is inside the body is being clicked, what it will do, it will be more like report to its parent class, its parent element. For instance, here this div element is inside the body, so when you click it, then the event will bubble up, just like when there is some sort of a bubble inside the water. Air always rises, so when there is bubble inside the water, it can't stay under the water. It always rises to the surface, to the higher surface. So that thing that's the exact same thing that happens here. So when you click in here, the event will bubble up and it will be caught by this parent. What if this parent doesn't catch it? It will be caught by HTML. So what if maybe there is some sort of another div? Let me just write it here. What if maybe there is another div? Okay, let me close this there. So what if this is inside another div element? So what will happen? This event will bubble and it will be caught by this div. If this div doesn't catch it, then this body will catch it. If this doesn't catch it, the other one will catch it. I hope now you see. I hope now you see the idea or the concept behind bubbling. So what we want to do conceptually, we want to delegate the responsibility of catching events to the body, since we believe that it is the outmost container in the DOM, is the outmost. So we are going to delegate that responsibility of catching events to it. So any element that has been pressed inside the body, the event will bubble up and rise and rise and rise until it reaches the body. So in this way, there is no way that the body won't know if an element has been clicked. Hence, once it receives that message, it will do something. So it will mean that as a body, since any element can be clicked here, let's say there is 10 children inside the body. So the body, when we are delegating an event listener to it so that it can listen for the children inside it, we need to tell it which one it's listening for. Okay, now let's get into the code. Okay, what we want to do, we want to target the body. Okay, now on the body we say dot on, we are delegating, and then on what? On click. That means it's listening for on click event. Okay, on click, what has been clicked. Now we are taking where is that body dot on change, we are taking the element that has got an ID on change. Which element is that? It's this ID with click me. So we are saying to the body, listen for the on click event when it's, let's say it's bubbled from this, when it's bubbled from this ID. And then from then what's going to happen, then you must call an anonymous function call an anonymous function, and then first of all let's just alert before we change the let's first alert a message before we change the background. Let's delete this one at all, or let me just comment it, because I will copy that code for changing background. So I hope you get the idea here. We are targeting the body. In the body we are delegating a responsibility, and what is that responsibility? To listen for a click event. The body is asking us when it's coming from who, and we are saying when it's coming from this ID. Then when it's coming from this ID, then this is what you must do: alert bubble. Let's run it and see. Let's click. As you can see, bubble, the same thing happens. Okay, and then from then what we are going to do, we just gonna change this and say when this happen, now don't alert bubbled, then just change the background color. That is it. I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. This is my YouTube channel, Coded Design. If you feel like this has added value to your overall understanding of jQuery, please do me a favor and subscribe, and I know you are very kind, you will. Thank you for watching. What up, and welcome. I'm Matthew Msengati, the designer and developer. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach coding and user interface design. First, let me congratulate you by making it this far. It means that you are dedicated and you really want to be a better developer. So let's continue the journey. Now we are going to learn about a little bit of an advanced topic which is not for beginners, which is DOM traversal. What is DOM traversal? Now let me first give you a picture of what a DOM is, so that you can have an idea when we are saying DOM traversals. What do we mean? Let's say traversal, and let's search on images. Let's search on images. Okay. Okay, so when we talk of HTML, you might have noticed that we are nesting tags, meaning that we are putting tags inside another tags inside another tags. It doesn't matter what we call the tags, but we are nesting tags. For instance, there is this tag called HTML that we are closing here. We are closing this tag here, but inside this tag, let me start even here from the bottom. Inside this tag there is a script tag, and the script tag opens here, and also there is a body tag, but I don't know why the body tag is starting here. Maybe this is a mistake. Oh, not a mistake, this is an empty body tag. There is a body tag that starts here and ends here. So in this body tag we might have another div element. We can have another div element. We can have another div element, whatever it is. So you can see that we've got an HTML tag. Inside that HTML there is a body. Inside that body there is a div. So when I'm saying we are nesting, that means we are putting each tag inside the other, and we can do that what can I say, infinitely. So this picture shows that relationship. In this tag there is this tag inside it. Inside this tag there are these two tags. Inside one of these two tags there are these two tags. So nesting is something like that. So when we talk of a DOM, conceptually we are talking of a structure like this. As you can see that this looks like, it's called a tree structure. It means that this root, as a root that you know of a tree, it has got a stem, and in a stem there is a first branch. In that branch there is also two branches to it. In this branch there is two branches, and these are called the leaves. So that's why this is called some sort of it's a sort of a tree. It adopts some sort of a tree structure. So when we talk of a DOM, I want you to have this picture, something like this. And then when we are saying it's DOM traversal, it means that we are moving up and down this tree. For instance, this is the parent, it has got a child. This parent has got two children. One of these children, they've got two children. So maybe the question might be, please locate for me a grandchildren of the second of the first child from, let's say, of the original parent or something like that. If this is the original parent and it has got the first child, then the grandchild, which means if we're talking about this is the parent and it has got a child, and the grandchild might be this one, the grandchild of what? Of this original parent. So whatever the case might be, this is traversing. It's like you are searching and looking for things inside this DOM. So when we talk of a DOM, you must have a picture like this. Then now that we have got a DOM, these are HTML elements. Traversing, it's looking for things inside the DOM. So there is a certain way of doing that in jQuery. Let's also take a look at this one, the one that looks complicated. For instance, the question might be, or the interest might be, to look only for, let's say this color is pink, to look for pink children. How are you going to do that? Then jQuery has got a way of getting into that and select only certain children. So now we are in that stage, and also it's not a beginner stage. What I like about this or what makes me more interested on teaching you, even when you are looking for a job, this is one of the requirements, like DOM traversal. Are you able to traverse the DOM and look for things? So now we are getting into that. Obviously, I think this video has been long enough on its own. I've explained a lot of things. Also, you need to sit down with this information and digest it a little bit. So I want to give you that time. So for now, me, Matthew Msingati, the designer and developer, take the information that I've given you, process it, make your own research, go and Google DOM traversal, and then we are going to talk about the practicality and implement in the next video. Otherwise, for me, thanks for watching. In this video, we are going to practically get into DOM traversal. In the previous video, I have explained what the DOM is and what traversing means. So now we are going to get into the practicality. So let's create a UL element, which is a list, and this UL has got the LI element, and then also what it must have, let's say it has got a span. Then it has got a span element. So let's say this one is number 1. The span element, it's number 1. Span element. This li has got an ID of number 1. Okay. So as you can see, our tree structure is not complicated. We've got the body, we've got the UL, the list. Inside the list, it has got the list element, the LI elements. As you can see, now let's add these LI elements at least so that we can have 5 of them. And then let's number them accordingly. 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what we want to do, we want to traverse the UL. We want to go move up and down the UL element. Okay, now I've got a list here of do we have something that we are going to click? Let's have something, a div here that we will use to click. Click me. Okay, I'm happy with that. So here I've got all the functions, not necessarily all the functions, but the functions that I've prepared for this course or this series, so that you can get an idea of what traversing is. So what we want to do now, we just want to delete some few things here. Okay, want to delete some few things here, and then we are done. Okay, let's just go back a little bit. Let's run it and see what's in here. So we've got click me and we've got the items, as you can see, from number 1 and number 2. Now what we are going to do, okay, what we are going to do, go down a little bit. Click me does the click me element has got an ID? No, it doesn't have. Okay, let's put this ID on click me, because the event listener is being attached to this ID. Okay, we might as well have a small letter ID. So now when this has been clicked, then we want to make sure that we implement all these things. Let's start with this one. In fact, yeah, let's start with this one. So we've got the children method in jQuery. What it does, get all the children elements of the specified element or elements. So let's specify a certain element and get all the children for it. Now as you can see that we've got the UL. Let's skip that because we know it has got these children. What we are going to do, we are going to target this element and look for all of its children, of which it has got only one child. Clear enough? Yes. Now let's do that. The ID of this li the ID of this li is number 1, then number 1 dot children, and that is it. Then what are we going to do with these children? Let's try to display them. Let's remove this. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm trying to do. We have opened the elect dialog box here and we're closing it here, and then inside it we are pushing number 1. We are selecting the li number 1 and we want all of its children. Let's see what is going to be displayed. Run it and then let's click. Okay, it says object. Obviously it says object because I didn't specify what do I want like inside those children. I hope let me not dive deep in trying to explain the object, because at the moment I don't want to confuse you, but I'm going to tell you what I was supposed to do or what I have forgotten. So let's say now that the jQuery engine has managed to select this tag, at the moment it has captured it as an object. Now it's more like it's asking us, what do you want from this object called span? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell it that I want the HTML of width .html. Okay, I think it's a method. Yes, Okay, let's just quickly run that and see. As you can see now, the HTML of the span, what is inside the span, it's number 1. So we are checking for this li, the one that you don't see. Let's say use this pointer, this dot, and then from then we are looking for the span, and in that span we are looking for the HTML of that span, what's inside it, and what's inside it, it's only number 1. What if we can change that to number 2? That will mean that I did something wrong. That means maybe there is no ID with number 2. Let's just check what might have happened. Of course, I've made a mistake. There is no number 2. Refresh. Click. As you can see, number 2. What if we can change the text on number 2 to say blah blah blah? Let's see, is it going to return blah blah blah? Okay, click here. As you can see, blah blah blah. I'm happy with that. Now what we want to do, let's go to check the HTML for the UL. Let's say we want the HTML, which is we are looking for the UL children. We want to target the UL tag. We are going to write it as it is, and then .children.html. Let's see what's going to happen. Let's see. I was hoping that it's going to return all of these, but it's giving me span number 1. Then it will mean UL.children. So it's taking the first children. Okay, now for now let's just okay, at the moment somebody's knocking. I'm just gonna have to quickly pause the video. So at the moment, let's just quickly end the video here. Continuing, I will explain in details what's going in here. Otherwise, I'm Matthew Singati. Thanks for watching.